The alliance of CEO climate leaders in the world, including CEO from Infosys and Mahindra Group, has put out an open letter calling out the G7 to make bold, credible, net zero and climate commitments. The letter asks governments to ask leaders to commit to net zero by 2050, to support developing countries to adopt to climate change and establish decarbonization targets and emission norms across all scopes. This throws light on an interesting report by Swiss Re and Oxfam, which spoke about the impact of climate change on G7 countries, the world and individual regions as well. The G7 economies contracted about 4.2% due to the economic impact of COVID. And they could contract twice as much as they did during COVID by 2030 due to temperature rise because of climate change. So that number could be 8.5%. It also suggests that the world economy could be 14% smaller if the 2050 net zero emissions and Paris Agreement targets on climate change are not met. Asian region will be the most impacted according to the report. The table now will suggest the region-wise impact if temperature rises by 2.6 degrees in the next 30 years. What could the impact be on different countries? Well, for UK, it's impacted to be 6.5% contraction. For North America, it's 7.4%, US 7.2%, and bigger impact on Asian region. A contraction of 20% is expected, majority of which will come from India, Indonesia, and Singapore. The numbers are here for you on the table. Just to give you some perspective, Paris Agreement is an agreement that aims to substantially reduce global greenhouse gas emissions in an effort to limit the global temperature increase in this century to 2 degrees above pre-industrial levels, while pursuing the means to limit the increase to 1.5 degrees. And G7 countries, this is the 7 of the world's biggest industrialized economies: UK, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, and the United States. Now, coordination between the top 3 carbon emitters, that is China, US, India, which account for roughly half of all emissions, is crucial. India and China are more at risk from climate change than the US. With no further mitigation action, in a severe scenario, India could lose up to 35% of GDP by mid-century.